Ethiopian food has a history here in Adams Morgan, dating back decades when this area became a community for many Ethiopian migrant business owners.
When you look at the history of Adams Morgan back in the 80s, this was Little Ethiopia. It's supposed to be named Little Ethiopia.
Adams Morgan was the epicenter for almost all Ethiopian migrant families and owners. However, the shift in the Ethiopian dining scene began after businesses became priced out of the neighborhood up until the mid-2010s, which signaled the end of the Ethiopian cuisine era in Adams Morgan.
There was about 6-7 Ethiopian restaurants on this one block. And really, that was the background of how Adams Morgan came to be. These were the backbones businesses that flourished back in the 80s and early 90s.
But with the demographics of Adams Morgan changing and rent on the rise, owners relocated to 9th and U Street, which became officially recognized with this sign as Little Ethiopia in 2020. Ethiopian dishes and culture have brought district locals and food lovers alike together.
So it was delicious.
But even the new Little Ethiopia on 9th and U is becoming more displaced.
I'm just a few steps away from 9th Street, an area formerly known to be part of Little Ethiopia, DC. But it seems to be facing a similar fate to Adams Morgan, with just one Ethiopian restaurant left on this strip.
I went inside Share Shade to ask a worker if I was indeed in Little Ethiopia, because frankly, nothing on this street resembled anything Ethiopian. While she wished not to speak on camera, she told me not much of Little Ethiopia is left, and what is left is on U Street. The worker was not able to give much information beyond that, but speculates Little Ethiopia is on the verge of disappearance in DC. Then I met Adam, a cashier at a tobacco shop near 9th and U Street, who's been a witness to Little Ethiopia's downfall since 2021.
I remember when they took down the sign, and I was wondering why they did that, but it's really just a lot of politics behind, the name of the street. They really don't even want this street to even be really named something like Little Ethiopia.
Locals say within the past year or two, the sign for Little Ethiopia has been removed, leaving them wondering what really happened here. Adam remembers when this street used to be more family-oriented, filled with Ethiopian businesses up and down the block. But now, he says it's become more of a scene for bars and partygoers.
I feel like, everywhere in the city is getting gentrified now, but that's just, that's gonna come with time, Really, it's like nothing you can do about it, you know what I'm saying?
While it's not known why exactly Little Ethiopia has left DC, Adam says it's just something the community has to get used to.
You just really have to just adapt. It's all about adapting and just, making sure you follow every rule and regulation they come up with.
But the dynasty of Ethiopian eateries has not fallen completely, with restaurant owners like Ted Yirdaw who wants to revive Adams Morgan back to what it once was for the Ethiopian community.
It was always a dream for my wife, who her mother is named Sahai, so it's an homage to her. Right after we opened, accolades came fast.
Ted is the owner of Michelin star restaurant Stahai in Adams Morgan, which was rated in the top 100 very best restaurants of 2024 by the Washingtonian. His restaurant was originally in Petworth, but something about Adams Morgan just felt right.
When we were moving from Petworth, originally we were looking at spaces at the wharf or Navy Yard, something bigger, something fancier, but it made sense to come back to Adams Morgan and, reignite that 80s feel where, Adams Morgan is almost synonymous to Ethiopian food, great Ethiopian food.
The dishes at Sahai derive from the original recipes of Sahai herself, Ted's mother-in-law, and follows every step of her cooking process precisely.
Every single step it's imperative that we do it culturally correct. Now, most people are experiencing it for the first time, and most people respect it and love it. So that bridges the gap where, things that we may be known for, like, famine or poverty or not. You're like, oh wow, Ethiopia actually does this, and it's educational, really, and it's fulfilling for us.
First-time customers here often turn into returning ones, and new DC resident Jordan Bone made sure her out-of-state family stopped by Sahai.
This is a really good experience because we are with people that have never had Ethiopian food. We have only had it one other time. And so, you know, especially coming from out of state, our family is coming to visit us. And so really being able to be with them and just share a meal, share laughs, and share some conversation is really nice.
Tonight was Maria Rankin's first Ethiopian meal, and she says it was nothing short of exceptional for her.
This is my first time having Ethiopian food. They brought me here because they said it was really good. I've always wanted to try it because I hear that it has lots of spices to it.
While the Ethiopian community in Adams Morgan may not be what it was 50 years ago, Ted wants his community to continue to build each other up, regardless of the circumstance.
We have to give back because I believe, like, you know, when the community succeeds, then we all succeed.
From American University, I'm Asia McGill.